Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for June 15th through June 30th of 2021. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded reading. Other than that, let's go ahead and begin. All right, we have Two of Cups and Two of Wheels right now from the beginning, and I feel like this message, these two cards are a bit kind of interwoven with each other. It's a message that sort of comes together. So there are connections that are happening, and these are definitely of the chemistry kind of connections. However, it does not necessarily mean intimacy. It's just sort of kind of alchemic, serendipitous sorts of happenings. I keep getting told as I'm talking work, job, work, career. So it's the sort of alchemic or serendipitous connections that just really create a reaction or frequency or vibrations in and of themselves whenever they occur. And it just seems like things are falling into place, but it's not just falling into place. So when you think of concepts of things falling into place, it's just things are happening with ease and it just sort of happens. Whereas every time these things kind of happen, there seems to be a reaction or a response in some regard. So, you know, it's not just things rolling into place. There's sort of a vibration that it's kind of like whenever water drip hits water, it just doesn't hit, but there's a ripple effect. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a bit of a ripple. There's a resonation that occurs. So it's something that resounds and the frequency sort of goes out and impacts surrounding events and experiences. So this is something that you are experiencing right now, not just things smoothly falling into place, but a ripple effect, vibrations and frequencies that seems or feels very tangible to you. You cannot deny them. You're very much aware of them. And again, I'm being told job, work, career. So a lot of you, this has to do with work, things that are falling in place. And as they're doing so, there's vibrations that are just very tangible and palpable. There's a select few of you that there's an intimacy thing. There's a relationship going on. And if that resonates, take it because it's for you as well. But a good bit of you, this really has to do with work. And the Two of Wheels comes in close connection with this and a very deeply woven relationship with this because there is definitely a need for balance. The ripple effect of the constant drip of these chemistry or alchemic serendipitous events that are happening, they're happening so close, so fast and so close together that the ripples are just getting connected and hit by the ripples of the last or the very next drip. Like it keeps happening. So you have this constant dripping and so you have this constant rippling and they're kind of hitting and clashing with each other. So if that makes sense, if you can go with that analogy as far as how your life is going as a result of it, it's not that it's chaotic. It's just there's a rush. Rush is just like it's so fast. And, you know, there's nothing chaotic about it. It's just so fast. It's so rapid. It can almost be overwhelming, and there's definitely almost a sense of an overcharge, like an electrical charge almost. So the reason why the Two of Wheels comes into play is because you are going to be doing a balancing act with all of this because the drip and ripple effect is happening so fast. You have to catch all of this and try to make sure that things stay within a certain realm, and from an energetic perspective, there's a lot of energy to be used for yourself, for future endeavors and prosperity, but you have to be quick to catch that energy. You have to be quick to be able to bottle that, so to speak, for yourself. So there's a bit of a balancing act. There's a need for you to make sure that you're just as fast as those ripple effects that are happening to be able to catch them all. But as a result of that, you could potentially get fatigued if you're not figuring out that balance, that the technique that you need to. There's like a trick that you need to kind of to get in there. There's a sweet spot as far as a method is concerned. And I feel like I'm I'm being shown that there are some of you that are there nodding your head yes, so you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm trying to get across. But you definitely have to be on your toes, be quick with your reflexes, but make sure you act as fast as it's coming in, because as you already know, the potential for this is great, and where it can carry you is pretty phenomenal. So catching it and being able to at least bottle it for future reference, however that applies, this is definitely, there's a lot of, like, this is charged, like there's so much coming through that it's not even coming through and in language, like I'm receiving it in frequencies, but it's so powerful and so huge, I can almost not translate it because it's so big. So the energy that you're experiencing right now is fast moving, fast paced, almost to the point of, if you're not careful, it can be overwhelming, but you're being told it doesn't have to be. Figure out the balance and work within that balance so that you can use this for future endeavors as well as current, not just future, current, but it is going to take you somewhere. It has future potential, and you know this is why you're already kind of on the ball. You've been on the game. You've been paying attention. You've been working with it. I think one of the reasons, I'm being told one of the reasons why you're here watching this video is because you have kind of reached a point where you're wondering, are you doing the right thing by trying to capture all of this and capitulate it? But you're being told, yes, keep it up. This fast-paced, razzle-dazzle, quick drip with rippled frequency and vibration, it's going to come to, it's going to slow down and fizzle out eventually, and you're going to have a better time ability to be able to handle it all, juggle it all, and use it all. But right now, it's just coming so fast. Just go with it. Eventually, it'll kind of wane, and you'll get to that point where you can better organize all the balls that you've caught, all the frequency balls, all the energy balls, all the drips, the ripples, the frequencies, the vibrations. You'll get to a point where it will slow enough down so that you'll be able to then organize it and use it. But go with it, flow with it, capture it, use it. Work with it. I feel like a lot of you are already doing all of this, and you're being told to keep it up, keep doing it. Two of Wands means, I feel like this is just a validation of what I've just said. You are going to get to a point where things are going to slow down, and you are going to get to a point where you're going to have to start making decisions. So you'll be doing a balancing act. You'll be doing this whole concept of kind of bottling this energy, figuring out a way to quickly store it, so to speak, from an energy worker's perspective. Just being aware of it and figuring out how to move along with it as well as use it. But you're going to come to a point where it's going to slow down. So your decision-making skills are going to come to a different perspective. You're going to go from capturing and bottling and flowing with it to actually holding it and molding it and utilizing it. And that's where the Two of Wands comes into play. You'll get to a point where you'll have to sort of be more active in pushing the energy where you want it to go, moving the energy where you want to go, to be more decisive or be more active in the decision versus the energy that you're going with or working with right now. You're more passive as far as catching, grabbing, bottling, moving with, flowing with. You will get where this dissipates, like I said earlier, but the Two of Wands lets you know that you'll get to where not only will it dissipate and you'll continue doing what you're doing, but because this will slow down, your mindset will change from this to more of a active mindset, and like I said, molding, working with, pushing it where you want it to go, so on and so forth. So that's what the Two of Wands is letting you know. Five of Cups is this is a message about how among all of the energy aspects that you will be working with and kind of trying to figure out how to balance, this is going to keep you busy enough. It's going to keep your focus on this, that you might actually, when it's all over, feel like you missed something because you were busy with this other aspect. This feels family oriented. So puts me in mind of how, if you are at a particular job where they're asking you to put in extra hours, and you say yes, because not only are you going to get more pay, but there's a bonus promise with it, and there's a potential promotion, if not potential, but actual promise promotion. So you do the work, you get focused, you buckle down, you do what's supposed to be done, and you stay fixated and focused on this thing because you know it's short term. You know it's going to take a lot. It's going to consume a lot of your time, and it's going to consume a lot of your energy. But you also know that that point of consumption is short lived. It's not like this is forever. It's not long term. It's something that's just going to happen over the course of a short time period. You know what the time period is, so you're okay with it. You feel like you can kind of make it happen. You can work with it. You can actually burn this energy to go with it to get to that point in time. But then when you get past that, you might get where you're reflective and you realize, hey, I missed out on this family connection. I missed out on this family event. I missed out on this family occurrence. I missed out on this family tradition. So this is what this is talking about. You're going to have a point where your fixation and focus is going to be at working with this energy, flowing with it, bottling it, balancing yourself amongst it. And then you're going to move to where this dissipates to the point where you are going to be more active with it as far as molding it and utilizing it for its purpose and organizing what you have reserved and kind of latched onto. But when this is all said and done, you're going to realize that while you were doing all of this work, you're going to feel a bit mournful on some aspects that you now recognize in hindsight that you may have missed out on. So you have two options with this. Knowing this now, you have two options. And one of them is recognize that this is a loss that you're going to experience, but the payoff is worth it. Or recognize that this loss is a potential and then figure out how that can go in with all of this work. How can you make that work? How can you weave this potential mourning loss in with this so that you don't experience the mourning or this loss afterwards? So that's the message to you. It's just kind of a heads up and let you know, well, this is happening. This has the potential of happening. And you either have to face it and just accept it, which is okay. You're allowed to do that and recognize that it's just one tiny aspect of a bigger life and a bigger picture. Or knowing that this is potential, you can make sure that that is one other thing that you are juggling through the whole process. So the choice is up to you. And it's also one of those things that when you make a choice and you find out that it's not the one that you're okay with while you're still in the midst of this, you can change your mind. That's perfectly fine. All in all, though, towards them, we have the King of Cups. And I just feel like this is, look how just pleased with himself he is on that throne. And I feel like this is just sort of letting you know that the direction that this is going, the potential and the inner power that this is going, I feel like this is letting me know and letting you know that there's a bit of emotional stability that's going to come with these changes. So there's I get the overall sense that there's some sort of emotional upset or disruption or just general unhappiness on an emotional aspect of self that you have been experiencing, and you've been sort of working through, doing what you need to do, trying to figure out what it is that you want to do or become, so that you are at a higher or a different level emotionally. And all of this is going to get you there. It's going to point you in the right direction so that you kind of get to that point where you are more secure, more stable, more happy, more master of your emotional happiness. This is linked to happiness in some regard. We have fun as one of the messages that you're supposed to be getting, and I do believe this is in relationship with this, and how this is a bit of a pushback regarding this, or there's potential conflict regarding the energy from the beginning portion of the reading. And I feel like this is letting you know not to forget to have fun in all of this. There's a lot of high energy and high vibrations when we're enjoying ourselves to that degree. Figure out how you can do this. Don't let this get so intense that you get lost in the intensity and forget about enjoying life in the process. Make sure you're still finding ways to take joy, even if it's in the little things, that works too. But make sure that there's an enjoyment factor on all of this. Remember what you're doing it for. Remember what the end goal is as far as for yourself, and why you embark on this, why you decided to take part in this energy that's going to be presented to you. And don't let yourself get so focused and so intense in this that you forget the enjoyment, that the intensity consumes the fun and enjoyment out of life, because that's just a hint too far, and you want to kind of rein it in a little bit, back it up a little bit, make sure you are enjoying life in the process. But ultimately we have truth, and I feel like there's a bit of truth, and this has to do with that emotional upset that I was commenting on, about how there's an emotional unhappiness. It's a sort of a personal discovery I feel like you have come across in your own personal individual life. And it's something that you've just kind of resolved to find a solution and fix. And that's what you're working on. That's the truth that you're looking for. It's not that you are overall unhappy. It's just there's just this aspect of your life where you recognize that it's not at a level that you want it to be. And you have decided you want to level up. And that's what you're experiencing. That's what's being offered to you. That's what you can take advantage of in the last 2 weeks of June, should you decide that that is what you want to do. And we have another aspect, a reminder of fun, with this card saying, I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. This is really, I feel like, letting you know, again, reiterating about that. Make sure it doesn't get too intense. Don't get lost in the intensity of it. Make sure you are still enjoying life. There's nothing wrong with trying to better yourself, and however that applies to you. But in the process, don't let the intensity of your attempts to better your life consume any joy, happiness, or bliss, especially if the point of your what you're going through and what you're building and what you're experiencing is to get to happiness. If that's your point, then don't let the intensity, consume the bliss and happiness in the process before you get to the other side. Make sure you're experiencing happiness and bliss the whole entire journey up to and including to the destination. All right, that's all I have for you. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising readings to get a full, well-rounded perspective. And if you would like a personal individualized reading, I have those in the link box in the comment section below. And hopefully this reading has given you everything that you were hoping for and more. Hopefully June turns out to be a beautiful month for you, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.